Today, we're going to be installing the PBM subframe in the 46. Got the old one out last night. It's right here. I just got back. We're getting the rest of the bushings out. I ended up popping the races out of the subframe. I just have to take the diff races out now. Joey's just burning out the last one. Then after that, I got all the bushings lined up. I'm gonna pop those in. Honestly, I'm not even gonna paint this subframe because I just feel like it's a little too extra. And when I painted even that one, like I was like bugging out putting it in the car. I didn't want to like scratch it and all that. I honestly don't really care. We're gonna get to getting the rest of these bushings out, and I'll get back to you guys once I start getting the new Johnnies in. All the races are out. We're taking the rear sway bars, what's left of the rear sway bar off. He's kind of struggling with the one bushing because it's kind of like glued. So one's in, second one popped out. This one hit back. Ready? Back. Now we're gonna pop these rear ones in. All right, you have this slot right here. That slot you want to face horizontally, not vertically, because what this is gonna do is let you rock your diff back and forth when you're putting the diff bolts in. It gives you a little bit of lee room since these are solid. So you kind of just want to line them up horizontally as best as you can. Yep, pop these in. Just like that. You kind of see how it's horizontal. Obviously, this totally did not come out perfectly horizontal, but it's good enough, I guess. Now, these two, they go in from the front. So you just take these, pop them right in. You have a block of wood. Throw it in there. Pop this one in. Don't do this to me. All right, so we got all the bushings in. Got the diff bolted up, the axles bolted up, upper control arms bolted up, lowers, everything should be good to go. We're gonna take a little break for a second and then start attempting to throw it back into the car. All right, so we have successfully managed to get this thing in first try. I have these back bolts kind of just snug down, like they're not even that tight, but kind of pissed because it skimmed the seam sealer a little bit and it kind of like peeled it back. But I guess you can't always fucking win when doing this shit. Kind of butthurt, like it's literally like bare metal underneath, but I'm gonna try lining these two up as well. It should already be pretty close, but yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take those two little spacers that the kit came with that are stacked. I'm gonna put the other one on top of that one, run these bolts through it. But before that, I'm gonna have to put that aluminum little brace on there. And I have these little pieces just RTV'd in just so it holds it up when I'm screwing the bolts in. All right, so the subframe is fully tight now. Have all 4 points tightened down. Since I did the reinforcement plates, had to add the extra spacer. This little guy in between there that I was saying that I RTV'd in, right there. All the diff bushings. And yeah, it definitely sits way closer to the top of the chassis now. because these are the risers, so you can see the little clearance the subframe has now, which is good because it helps with the axles. When you have a lowered car, your axles have less stress now since the subframe is higher. So yeah, it should be Gucci. All right, so everything's finally all together. Have all the interior pieces back on, the batteries hooked up, got the wheels on, everything's nice and tight, got the drive shaft on. I put the factory heat shield back on, so everything's nice and OEM, I guess. Bled that one brake right here, even though I really didn't even have to. No air came out, which is kind of weird. And yeah, everything else is tight. Axle's still blown, did not replace it. All right, so the car is officially on the ground. Well, it's on the wood right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and just back it up, make some ramps to back out of here. All right, so I already drove it for a little bit. It definitely feels way more planted. The rear end feels stiffer too, like the coilovers, like they're really shitty coilovers, but like they were really bouncy before, and now they just feel like way better. I don't know if it's because like the subframe sitting higher, so it's like putting more like preload in a sense on the coil, but it feels really good. And like even with the welded diff, you take a corner, like even in like second gear, the car doesn't like, you know, like buckle at all. Like I'm gonna take this U-turn right here, and it just kind of like powers right through the corner. It feels really freaking good. There's definitely a lot more subframe noise from the rear end. Well, just more rear end noise. But other than that, like it just rides really nice. I don't know what else to say. It's definitely worth the upgrade. Definitely worth doing it. I'm gonna do a little clutch kick U-turn here, and I guess we'll see what it does. I mean, it should probably feel perfect, but let's see. It just feels like it. That was butter. That was literally butter. Honestly, there's a big difference actually. Like, even with just kicking the car out like that, the rear end just obviously felt more sloppier, but it just feels really planted. I feel like I just go 80 miles an hour and just cut corners. And yeah, it's freaking awesome. I love it. I would definitely suggest doing this. Just drop your gas tank, and yeah, you should be good to go. Is that a cop with it? Other than that, it feels awesome. Love it. And yeah, it's gonna be it for this video. Hope you guys liked it. Like, comment, sub, do all that stuff. And yeah, have a good night.